Border security is important, and a part of border security is what happens to unaccompanied minor children. I introduced a Fair Day in Court for Kids Act, which would ensure unaccompanied children with legal representation in immigration court. And like Senator Durbin, I have visited the immigration court in Maryland. And unaccompanied children who have to contend with immigration court, children as young as I know that Senator Durbin had noted that he has seen children as young as under 5 years old having to stand before the judge. You can't even, you have to help the child get on a seat. How is that child supposed to contend with this kind of system? So having representation, legal representation is important. And there's no way that, as I said, a child can navigate our complex immigration system on his or her own. And immigration judges are 100 times less likely to provide relief to unaccompanied children without counsel as compared to children who have counsel. But I also mention this because legal representation is a powerful weapon against these children being trafficked. I have a number of questions for Ms. Giovanni. So do you agree that having children have legal counsel is an important way for us to contend with the dilemmas faced by unaccompanied minors in our country?
Oh, legal counsel is essential, Senator, and I think the whole community is grateful to you for reintroducing the Fair Day in Court Act precisely because it recognizes that every unaccompanied child should have legal representation.
The thing is that earlier this year, this administration attempted to cut funding for legal representation. We don't even provide legal representation for all the children, but there was some funding and for that, and there was an attempt to cut this funding for these vulnerable children. It is incredible that this destructive move is actually going to help traffickers because I think that it provides a fertile ground for children who do not have this kind of support for traffickers to move in. And the Trump administration recently detained roughly 600 military lawyers, JAG lawyers, to serve as temporary immigration judges. And these military officers will serve as, they do have other jobs that they're supposed to be doing as JAG officers, but then these military officers will serve as judges for for who knows how long. Typically, an immigration judge receives months of classroom-based training and on-the-job training, including a mentorship program that lasts more than a year. So it's a specialized thing to be an immigration judge. I mention all of this because one of the most important jobs that an immigration judge has is to look for signs of trafficking, especially considering the administration's attempted reduction of funding for lawyers for unaccompanied minors. It will be that much more important for these judges to guard against trafficking. So training is important. You can't just move 600 JAG people to become immigration judges. And, frankly, a lot of that is being done simply to move things along, not necessarily to protect the minors. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm glad that you're holding this hearing, but I note that we do not have anybody from the current administration to provide us with an opportunity to question what is actually going on today, especially since mere weeks ago, this administration tried to send scores of vulnerable children back to Guatemala, as noted, with no due process in the middle of the night against their wishes and their parents' wishes. So somebody had to seek a TRO, which was granted. So in the court, the administration tried to argue that this particular move to deport all these children was done at the request of the children's parents. Not so. The administration withdrew that claim when it became clear that that was not the truth. When an administration withdraws a major claim like that in court, Congress must get to the bottom of what is going on. So again, it would be helpful, Mr. Chairman, if we actually had somebody from this administration to respond to our questions. Back to Ms. Giovanni, I'm running out of time. Are you confident that these temporary JAG judges will be able to do the job as they're just sort of moved over to do immigration
Well,
judging?
with respect to the judges who are being put in this position, I think that without the proper training, particularly if they're going to be seeing children's cases, it can be really, it will be really a disaster for the children who appear before a judge who isn't trained in the immigration law and in the special needs of a child.
And we note that your position has not been filled, so there is no ombudsman for these unaccompanied children. And I do want to note, Mr. Chairman, that this administration is using so-called wellness checks to check up on children. And while they're at it, they scoop up people who maybe have been vetted, but who may not be documented, and so they are scooped up because the administration has a goal of arresting at least 3,000 people a day, some of them for deportation purposes, some of them may be U.S. citizens. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, it strikes me that that the argument that you're making is that the welfare of these children should be sacrificed because somebody in the household might be illegally present in the United States and subject to deportation.